Yes, as we all probably know, in 2025, a third layer of tariffs was introduced, and a lot of brands still haven't felt the full hit yet. What used to be a manageable duty line item, it's now turning into a full-blown margin issue, especially if your product falls into a higher risk category. We're seeing stack duties that total up to 175%, and the worst part, most brands don't even realize it until their landed cost comes back and the numbers suddenly don't make any sense. So the goal here isn't to out-hustle tariffs, it's to get ahead of them before they quietly destroy your margin. So here's what we are dealing with right now. We have base duties that depend on your HTS code. We have Section 301 tariffs that are still in place from 2018, and they range from 7.5% up to 25%. And of course, the new tariffs from 2025, which can add another 125% on top of that. Stacked together, they can push your total landed duty up to 175%, which is huge. This is where products that looked profitable on paper suddenly aren't, so you may not realize it until your P&L is underwater. If you're not modeling for this now, your pricing strategy may already be wrong. And latest news, just yesterday at Geneva, US and China trade agreement was reached. So for over the next 90 days, the US and China have agreed to significantly reduce tariffs. The US lowered its tariffs to Chinese goods to 30%, while China reduced its tariffs on US goods to 10%. This is what they communicated yesterday. We still need to wait and see if China takes any action. Unfortunately, this will be a waiting game, so we'll keep you posted in our newsletter if we have or when we have any updates on the tariffs. The classification trap, this is one of the easiest mistakes to make and one of the most expensive. A lot of brands let their supplier choose the HTS code for imports, and it seems harmless. They've done it before, they know the product, right? But the truth is, you are legally and financially responsible for the classification. If it's wrong, you'll eat the overpaid tariffs and not the factory. I know I did this mistake in the past. When I launched my first product, I was lucky enough for the supplier to choose the right HTS code for me, but I highly advise you to keep an eye on this because it can influence your margins. We've seen brands go from 25% to 10% duty just by getting a proper audit and updating their code. This one shift saved 6 figures in a year for one brand, so it's low effort but high impact if you catch it early, of course. Here's how you can stay ahead of this. So first, don't let your supplier dictate your HTS code. Run a classification audit. We can recommend vetted partners if you need one. Second would be consider bounded warehouses if you are importing at scale. I know lately with all these tariffs, they are hard to find, but you will only pay tariffs when the inventory moves out. It buys you flexibility and delays the cash impact. And third, if you are warehousing inventory you might export or destroy, look into duty drawback. Not a lot of sellers are aware of this. You can recover up to 99% of the duties, but only if you file before the stock leaves or gets removed. These aren't theoretical. These are real plays brands are using to protect their margin right now.